Hey.
I, for the 50th anniversary, saw Jaws.
Yeah, oh my God.
At a cool indie theater, and it was so awesome, and the entire theater was packed, line around the block. I felt so effing cool, and it was so awesome. People were like cheering, like when he's like, "We need a bigger boat." Everybody cheered.
I love that.
When when they shot the shark, everybody cheered. I was like, "Oh my God, we're being with people again, and I feel social energy." And like, yes. You know, it was so awesome, and it was so good, and it was, it really, it's a perfect movie, period. It's a perfect movie.
Period.
You
didn't say the other part that made it, and made you really cool, Bridge. This was on a weeknight.
This was.
Because y'all think people get old and it's like, you can't do anything weeknights. Wrong.
We did.
Bridget knows she can.
It was a fucking Monday. And,
that's right. Oh my God, a Monday.
It was a Monday.
Random.
I was like, let's go. And this is a kudos to you because James was like, Bridget, did I hear you say Jaws is your favorite movie? And I'm like,
yes.
Yeah, I know that doesn't track because I hate horror films. He's like, well, it's playing at our favorite, like, cool-ass movie theater in Chicago. I was like, fuck yeah, honey, let's do this.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, there's going to be a documentary that's coming out, too, in July. I think they're, like, aligning it with Shark Week, but it's about the making of Jaws.
Cool.
Yes, so we'll have to watch that.
It's such a good movie, and it's so interesting, too, when you keep rewatching it, because, like, when he said we need a bigger boat, literally the entire theater, like, lost their shit. They all clapped and cheered, and it was like, God, it felt like we were it was with the people again, you know?
The people?
Like, yeah.
Your people!
I was like, maybe we should go to a music festival and, like, get sweaty and mosh pit, you know?
Oh, my God. I love that. Did you take our business cards and confetti them in the air for all the fans? No?
I tend to forget that, Katie. I'm so sorry.
Well, it's fine because, you know.
I'm so sorry.
Maybe next time. It's okay.
Maybe next time.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hello
there.
Oh, I was wondering if we were going to do a Southern accent. I forgot how to say hello in a Southern accent, but now I remembered. Hi.
I was trying to talk as slow as Mary-Louise Parker in this movie.
Whoa, she was slow talking. That's a good impression.
It's this type of slow.
Do you think she was
helps?
Smoking a little ganja
well, and then she does
there?
Weeds later, and I'm like, this fucking tracks, okay?
Something's going on there, yes.
What?
Wow.
Who, where, when, why, how?
Hey, oh, well, welcome back, listeners. Yes, I'm going to introduce ourselves, because we're not... Oh my God, I was just going to say Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That's not right. We're definitely not her.
Mary-Louise Parker.
Mary-Louise Parker, we're not her either. But we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And... Tawanda! Tawanda! What the fuck does Tawanda... Is that their last name? Is it a made-up word?
I have no idea.
I tried to phonetically spell it, and I know it's wrong, but Tawanda. So, wow. What's the movie, Bridge?
From the best year, but not for movies, but because of you, Katie, 1991.
Wow! That's me.
Fried Green Tomatoes. I thought this was sweet. No.
Steel Magnolias?
Not Sweet Magnolias. Steel Magnolias.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh shit, this is different.
And
then I was like, oh shit, this is different.
This is different.
This is different and sad. And you know, you always say that when you gotta cry, there's certain movies you put in your back pocket.
Oh, yeah.
I cry.
This is going on the list for me, too, because had you ever seen this before? Because this was my first watch.
Absolutely never seen it.
Okay, great, good. Me too. And I had two friends, one of which was Julie, who I predicted when I announced this, where I was like, I'm pretty sure Julie's seen this movie. She's the only person I could think of who's probably seen it. And I was wrong. Julie and my friend Jen have both seen it, so I was texting both of them.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, guys, is this a lesbian love story?
Yeah.
And then, but like, is it? Or...
But it's 1991, so everyone's still homophobic. Well, people are still homophobic, but like very homophobic.
I did wonder that. And then by the end of the movie, I was like, oh, this is actually a movie adaptation of the song Goodbye Earl by now called The Chicks, formerly known as the Dixie Chicks, where basically they tell a story about murdering a guy, their lady friend's husband. And I was like, correct.
Wow.
So, I mean, this is there's a lot of twists and turns, Bridge. And it is your synopsis. So, good fucking luck with that.
Yeah, thank you with that, because...
Sorry.
Not happening. I'm going to just pull up the Amazon Prime real quick. As you know, I give them all my fucking money.
Yeah, okay. I think this was free on Prime, though. Did you?
It was free.
Okay,
yeah, it was free.
Thank God. Okay.
Evelyn Couch is having trouble in her marriage.
Wait, her last name is Couch?
It really is.
God damn it, 90s. Okay, I'm so sorry. Keep going.
Evelyn Couch is having trouble in her marriage, aka Kathy Bates, and no one seems to take her seriously. While in a nursing home visiting relatives, she meets Ninny Threadgood, an outgoing old woman who tells her the story of Idgie. It's going to be so hard to say that.
Wow.
Threadgood, a young woman in the 1920s Alabama. Through Idgie's inspiring life, Evelyn learns to be more assertive and builds a lasting friendship of her own with Ninny. That's not bad, but what the fuck about Ruth? Okay.
There's also lesbian love. There's also murder. There's also cannibalism. There's also death by train every second. There's also racism.
Do you want to do the synopsis?
That's it. No, I'm done. I just so, here we are.
The entire movie. Yo, if you haven't seen this.
Holy hell.
And you want to cry, see it. But trigger warning, like, the KKK isn't it. There's, like, domestic abuse. There is, like, so much bad, crazy shit going down. There's, like, death. There's death by trains. There's so much tragedy. Okay? So, warning. Epic acting. Okay? There's two things happening. You flip-flop into present day, which is Kathy Bates, with Jessica Tandy, the actor, who plays Ninny. Kathy Bates plays Evelyn. Kathy Bates has some ding-dong husband who sucks balls, and she's like, my marriage sucks, and I'm just kind of like Frumpy McFrumpster, pretty much like in True Lies, Jamie Lee Curtis, pre her sexy spy agent vibes. Like, that's kind of what we're dealing with Kathy Bates.
Oh, yeah, yes.
She then, at a nursing home, is visiting her, like, husband's aunt who sucks, and so always kind of ends up in the hallway, meets Jessica Tandy, who is Ninny. Ninny is just so jazzed to talk to anybody, because, like, you know, if you're in a nursing home and you're old and you're lonely and all that, like, yo, I get it, okay?
Yeah.
So she's like, I got some crazy-ass stories. You want to hear about it? And she is like, it's actually about my sister-in-law, who's, like, the coolest motherfucker alive. I was like, yeah. Let's talk. Mind you, I don't know about you, but I was like, wait, are you Idgie? Because I think everyone thinks that, but it's not.
Okay, but I did think that. And then I texted Jen and Julie that question very early on, and they didn't answer. And I was like, did you guys not answer because I was right? You didn't want to spoil it. And they were like, maybe. I was like, okay.
Wait, I don't think so, though.
No, but like, are you sure?
So, okay.
But
hold on. I am doing a synopsis, but now we're going to explain stuff for Katie. So you know when Idgie is a little kid and she's coming down the stairs and the younger brother makes fun of her for being in a dress?
Yes.
That's who the old lady married.
Oh.
Because the other brother died.
Yes. Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Who played Robin from Batman and Robin. Yes.
Okay, so that's what's happening. Okay.
Wait, I literally the whole time I thought, like, because I might have played one round of Candy Crush in the beginning before I got in it to win it. And I was like, oh no, I missed the part where they said, that's me as a little girl and my name was Idgie. And so the whole time I was like, oh, they're the same person.
Yeah, they're not. But I'm glad we watched this movie. That's a very Bridget move of you. All right, so
so
Kathy Bates meets this lady in an old home, and they become buddies. And the old lady is telling this crazy story about her sister-in-law, and Kathy Bates is like, this person's inspiring. This woman is a fucking baddie. My life sucks balls. I need some fucking recharge energy. I need to, like, fuck it up in my life. Let's fucking go. I'm gonna hit some parked cars. I'm gonna, like, fuck up my house. I'm gonna do crazy shit. I'm gonna move in an old lady into my house. Let's go. Fuck my husband.
Let's fucking go.
Okay. So that's an awesome arc and fun, and Kathy Bates is just epic, as she always is. The story, though, then goes back to the 1920s, and it's all in Alabama with Idgie. Terrible name. I hate this so much.
It sounds like itchy. Like you need a cream for that,
or like Iggy. I don't give a fuck. So that's Mary Stuart Masterson, which if you Google her, you're like, I know that freaking actor. Okay.
Yeah.
Incredible acting. Okay.
Yeah, she was.
And then you have Mary-Louise Parker, who is Ruth. Also incredible acting. Those two become kind of unexpected besties, and then we watch them through their whole life have unbelievable tragedies. You know, they become business partners and run a cafe, which, by the way, still exists today. You could go to Alabama.
The Whistle Stop Cafe.
So there's
the
two
train
things
that murders everyone.
It was inspired by an Alabama place, but there's actually a place in Georgia that this is where it was filmed, so you can, like, go there. So you can, like, pick both. You could go to, like, the Alabama one, or you could go to the Georgia one. Anyway.
Wow.
So they basically are lesbian lovers.
Okay, they are, right?
1991 didn't address or acknowledge or show any loving anything, but Idgie was definitely a mask lesbian. And Mary-Louise Parker was definitely femme, and they were vibing and awesome.
Yep.
And so I'm not gonna, like, go into the details because I think that's the whole point of the movie. But you're watching two female relationships at different time zones inspire each other. It's like the coolest thing in the world. Like, I ate it up. I cried my eyes out.
I cried so much.
It was fucking great. And also, it was like, it was so many women on screen. It was so lovely.
It does pass the
and good
Bechdel
actors.
test.
Yeah,
so
and good actors.
We love that.
So let's go, Katie. Let's get into it. How'd I do?
That was great, Bridge.
Thank you.
I just gotta say, we all know how my mind works. The movie starts, and I'm like, there's Kathy. Thank God you're here. And they're stopped near a train track. And I thought we were going to go in, like, a ghost train direction, because she's like, did you hear the train? Like, ugh. And the husband's like, I didn't hear anything. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Is this, like, haunted shit? I'm ready. It's not, at all. Yeah, it's just so she could be like, there's a cafe I've never been to, but it's gonna mean something in the next scene when I meet Ninny. And Kathy's husband sucks. He keeps bringing her to go see his aunt, but his aunt throws shit at her, and he's just like, oh, well.
I know, I hated that.
What the fuck? And Ninny's like, hey, girl, you look sad, and I'm probably sad, too, so come on down. Let's go chit-chat. And Ninny knows her audience. She's like, oh, you're, like, a sad housewife? Guess what? I got a murder mystery for you. You want to know about that? And Kathy's like, yeah, I fucking do. And I on the other side of the screen was like, I fucking do too. Tell me about the murder.
If I'm an old lady and I'm bored as fuck, Katie, for whatever reason, we don't hang out, whatever.
No, we're going to be a Mardi Gras.
Some lady rolls up and is like, hey. I'd be like, can I tell you a story? And then I'll just tell the entire plot of Fried Green Tomatoes. But I'll pretend it's my sister-in-law. What do you think? Should I do that?
I think you should.
Okay.
And cool. You should always start it by saying, I've never told anyone this story before, because that really ropes them in, I think.
That really does. Oh
my God. But I mean, I got roped in because, at first I was like, oh no, is this like a rich white family that with, like, who owns slaves, and I don't like it. And, like, I didn't like it right away. But then, yeah, we meet Idgie, who is, like, I guess, like, a little tomboy, we'll say, who's forced to wear a dress because it's her sister's wedding.
Yeah, there's four of the kids. The older sister.
Okay.
The older brother, who is
Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell.
Buddy.
The
adult buddy.
Younger brother, who then the old lady marries, and that's how she knows the stories. And then
my
Idgie.
God. Okay, this makes so much more sense, because there were so many parts where Ninny would be like, and then my husband and my children, and I'm like, is this a red herring? Are you, like, I was in Clue. Like, I was like, oh, that's a lie. Like, you're just trying to throw me off your scent, Ninny Idgie, but no.
But she wasn't.
No, she wasn't. Okay. She was so honest. I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, the whole point of that is we learn that Idgie is very close with her older brother, Buddy. And guys, if you don't know Chris O'Donnell, you'll know him when you see him. And you think
so
to yourself,
cute in this movie.
yeah, you just think to yourself, like, what a great character. I can't wait to hang with you. And you have a crush on this girl, Ruth, who seems nice. And it's the three of you. It's you, Ruth, and Idgie. And we're all hanging out. And it's wonderful. And this is the best day ever. And oh, you guys made out. What a day. And then it's not a good day, Bridge. Is this the day of the wedding? Is this this is the same day?
And we never addressed the older sister's trauma of her brother dying at her wedding.
No, she like disappears in the movie, I think.
And the brother, hence why we were so confused who the fuck Ninny is.
I literally... So basically, spoiler alert, listeners, Buddy gets hit by a train. It's minute 5 or some I don't fucking know. It's really soon. And I like made a joke in my notes because he gets his shoes stuck in the train track. And I was like, oh, that's a weird thing to do. And then the train magically appears. And I was like, oh, no way. This is going to be like a fake out. He fucking dies.
He's have dead. Such train trauma.
I thought of Stand By Me. And I was like, there's no way. There's no fucking way. I can't do this.
I don't know if did you have this as a kid? Where, like, they would send us in school, they would show us videos of, like, don't play on the train tracks.
I only remember through CCD, there was a video where they were like, hey, if you had the choice to save a whole train of people or one kid, who are you going to save? And you're like, I hate this. And they're like, you save all the people. That's why we killed Jesus. And I was like, what the fuck? And you watched little Jesus die in this video. So... that was church for me. So, so anyway, no, I don't remember other than that particular train video. I don't remember the other train videos, but maybe we should play them again because I'm scared.
Well, I feel like as a kid, like chicken was a thing, like stay to the last minute and jump out of the way of the train. And so in like middle school and elementary school, they would show videos of like kids getting hit by trains to like scare you to not do it. And I couldn't even watch this. I forwarded it. I was like, oh my God, he's going to die. I can't. And I just started crying my eyes out because Idgie is definitely like not accepted by her family. Yeah. Naturally. Her mom is really sweet, but like you could tell she just doesn't fit in and the brother is like making fun of her. And Chris O'Donnell is like the only one that understands her and like loves her. And it like broke my fucking heart. I was like, this is so sad in the first 5 minutes.
Yep.
It broke my heart. I was like, this is it. How is she supposed to move on? She's like 8, you know? This is awful.
I do feel like this movie could have also been called Fried Green Whiplash. Feelings. Because it was a lot of like, well, that's sad. And then it was like, oh, never mind. It's pleasant again. And then I was like, oh, Jesus, someone's dead and there's blood everywhere.
The music was working overtime. It was like, you're like, oh, okay, I guess we're going to move on to that.
Oh, my God.
Like, even the Mary-Louise Parker, because you don't realize he's got kind of like, he was kissing Mary-Louise Parker, aka Ruth, and they had like a little crush, and her hat blew away onto the train track. So you know she felt this was like her fault. And then Idgie was like, yeah, it is your fucking fault. But like they don't actually talk about that. You just see them at the funeral kind of looking at each other like, wow, we killed the person we love the most. Like they have this trauma bond of like the person we love the most just died in front of our eyes.
Literally.
And you don't think they're going to be besties. You're like, all right, I don't know what's going on with these characters, but that sucked, you know?
Yeah, and the way this movie is told, too, is it's a lot of, like, back and forth between Kathy Bates and her shitty husband, and then she is like, my husband sucks, let me go chill with Ninny, and then Ninny's like, anyway, back to the flashback stories. So, you jump around a lot, but when we jump back, the next time she, like, leaves Ninny, comes back to Ninny, Idgie is, like, grown up more. So now she's like, I don't know. I felt like she was in like her 20s probably. And they were like, Idgie 20s. Left home. And then I was like, is Idgie a homeless lady in the woods? Like, I think that's what's happening. I don't understand.
Yo. Let me talk about how cool her fucking life was.
Okay, but I mean, she was fishing whenever she wanted.
She wore, in the 1920s, wore fucking pants.
She did.
Suspenders. She had vests. Okay, she dresses how Gen Z dresses today.
That's true.
Never dealt with her hair.
Nope.
Looked flawless all the time. Was stunning. Gets to live outside in the woods, basically like barefoot. Fishes. Still rolls up to her mom and is like, love you. Most of her time is spent at the bar smoking and playing poker and drinking with guys and like talking shit. And then basically it's just like the Robin Hood of the town. Giving free food to people who don't food. Helping like people who basically like she literally was the epitome of like she like handles bees. I mean, she's just like
she does
the
handle
coolest
bees.
Motherfucking person ever and has the coolest life. I'm like, wait, why are we shitting on her? Why are we worried? She seems like she actually has it better than all y'all.
This is why Ruth fell in love with her, Bridge.
I get it.
And like the reason they get paired up later in life after Buddy's death is because Ruth's like, I'm spending the summer with your family. And we're like, why? And she's like, because. And then it's like to help Idgie. And I was like, that's weird. So it is kind of trauma bonding. But then, yeah, Ruth gets to go on. She's just checking off all the things off her bucket list when she's hanging with Idgie. She gets to bust on a train. She gets to feed the homeless and be Robin Hood, as Bridget mentioned. She gets to drink. She gets to, what else does she do? She plays baseball, and that's apparently
she swims.
Life-changing. She swims.
She sees the bees.
That's when I thought they were going to make out. I thought they were going to make out, and they were doing the swimming, and then they didn't, and then I saw the bee scene. The 2025
version should. They should make out.
They would have, like, definitely been hooking up in the lake at night. And the bee scene, I was like, this is intimate. Like, I don't think I should be here. Be here, get it.
Loved it.
Sorry. But I was just like, wow, she literally stuck her hand in a thing of bees for Ruth because she loves her. And then she called herself, what'd she call herself? The bee something? The bee handler?
The bee charmer.
Bee charmer.
That's a great trivia question.
Bee charmer. Yeah.
Wait.
Wait.
Do you ever watch like Bee Tamers on?
Yes.
Isn't it the coolest thing watching?
Well, that's
people
what I was
just,
thinking
like,
of. Because
handle bees with their
Ruth
bare
was
hands.
Like,
they're so cool.
She's like, aren't you scared? And she's like, they never stung me. And I'm like, that's factual because I think most bee people don't get stung. And I don't understand it because the bees attack me.
Real
what did
talk.
I do?
Mary Stuart Masterson had a stunt double that was going to do that. The stunt double bailed last minute.
On.
And they looked at Mary Stuart Masterson was like, are y'all gonna do this or what's the plan? And she was like, fuck it, I'll do it. That baddie rolled up, and can you imagine sticking your hand in that many bees? And then
the bee charmer.
She was a Candyman cover.
This is some Candyman bullshit right here. I'll tell you that right now, Bridge.
I was like,
Candyman could have a bee sanctuary.
I don't know if I have the guts because one sting, right? One little tiny sting, and you flinch. You're getting a couple more, and then you're flinching more, and then then you fucking die, right? It's like, Jesus Christ. It was unbelievable, but you could tell she was just a really calm, like, it's just, I think they just have this very, like, calmness to them that allows the bees to be like, yeah, you do you. It's like the coolest thing watching it.
They're like, you just take our honey and give it to your lesbian crush, and we're gonna watch from over here and see if you make out.
Yo, those were some fucking allied bees. No?
They were. They're celebrating Pride Month, okay?
That's right.
But again, none of the women make out with each other, and I'm very confused by it. And it's weird. And, and then it's like the summer's ending, and Ruth's like, this was the best summer of my life.
I know,
and she's like,
Ruth is
me too.
Yo, first of all, Ruth is such a fucking vibe. She talks so slow. So beautiful. She's so, like, dainty but down, and it's a great vibe.
Yeah, what was her line? It was like, never say never to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's your line, Ruth? Okay, cool, girl.
Well, and I think she kind of is, like, she's one of those really, like, observer, quiet people, but, like, loves the excitement. And Idgie was so herself that I think it was, like, inspiring for her to be like, wow, how can you, like, just be yourself? so authentically. So they had this really interesting meet cute before the realization of Idgie, when she's like, oh yeah, I'm getting married after this summer. And Idgie's like, bitch, what? Like, what? But it isn't dramatic. She's like, oh, okay, I guess it's just what we do. Like, we just get married to dudes because it's the 20s, and I could barely even wear pants, so here we are.
The fucking scene where it's like, then Ruth got married and she invited Idgie to the wedding, but Idgie didn't go. And then it shows Idgie like lurking in the bushes of Ruth's new home. And I was like,
awkward.
Again, are we in love? Because
we're definitely in love.
Might be.
We're definitely in love.
Yeah, and then it's just like, all right, one day I'll visit Ruth and see what's up. And Ruth is getting abused. This is the whiplash. You're like, oh, we had a great summer. Oh, I'm sad you're gone, but it's okay, I guess. But now it's not okay because you're getting beat up. And I hate everyone.
I hated it.
And then Ruth's like, I'm pregnant. And then Idgie's like, we're getting you the fuck out of here. And this is where Goodbye Earl starts. The music starts playing for me. And it loops for the next hour and a half.
Yeah, fair.
And they're all like, Earl had to die. And the husband wasn't named Earl. I don't know his name, but he sucked. I didn't like him.
So his name was Frank Bennett.
Okay.
And he absolutely is... I don't understand. I was like, why was he beating her? Like, she's literally like the easiest going person. Like, what is she doing wrong? And she lived with her mother.
Yep.
Who allowed this bullshit. So it's like they were very like passive kind of
yes. Oh, that was it. Her mom died, and that's why Idgie went. And I was like, now you definitely got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, fuck that.
I'm like, I think we should have been out of here sooner, but okay.
Well, and, the sad part of her saying, I'm sorry your mom died, but I am here to get you, with, by the way, her, like, okay, we have to, like, take a beat on her, like, help, but family, but help, but I don't know, there's so much racism in this movie, but, like, figuring that part out. Like, we'll take a beat on that. But she is like, let's go, we gotta get out of here. And Mary-Louise Parker's pretty good. Mary-Louise Parker's like, yeah, I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. And thank God she brought two dudes with her, which was Big George.
Okay.
And I don't know the other guy, but I assume maybe that was like her brother or something. I don't know.
Little George.
Yeah. I don't know, but she was pregnant, Katie, and I'm like, why did we get out before? Like, we got pregnant and he like abused us, but I think he implied he like raped her a lot, which grossed me out,
Okay, I just felt like Big George and who we're gonna label Little George could have maybe stepped in a little sooner, because Idgie was like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, dude. And then she tried to, and he was like, no, like, let her go. And then that's when the guys came in and were like, we'll knife you. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then he throws Ruth down the stairs.
I thought the baby was going to die because she lands on her stomach.
I did too. I was like, oh, now we have another death. Great. I wasn't ready in my heart, but I guess I'll get fucking ready for the death.
This guy literally is why there's a song about him dying.
Goodbye, Earl.
He physically abused his wife and other disgusting things.
Yep.
He then is a massive KKK member. Trigger warning, there's a whole KKK subplot.
And it's a little too, like, casual. And I'm like...
I hated it. He then comes to steal the baby. He's beating people up. He's whipping Big George. Again, trigger warning. And he's a terrible, terrible motherfucker. So I was so excited when they murdered him.
Me too. I
jumped ahead a lot. But after she comes back,
it's just so many
after she leaves the husband, there is these moments, and this is like a very, I think, like, snapshot of real life. There's these moments of bliss. That, like, Idgie and Ruth are like, all right, I guess you live with me. And, hey, you got a baby? All right. The next scene is like, she had a boy. And everyone's like, yeah. Now, Idgie, let's just talk about this. So, Idgie comes from, like, a rich Southern family and has help / family. Cicely is the woman who is the mom of Big George, right?
Yes.
And then there's like a Big George has a daughter.
Yes.
And, they are black because we're in the 1920s Alabama and everyone says the N-word. And then there's things like KKK. And then there's things like how disgusting people are to anybody who is black, because both Idgie and Ruth start the Whistle something cafe. And they like feed anybody that shows up who happens to be black people, and then the KKK is mad about it, which is Frank Bennett, which I'm like, Ruth, Mary-Louise Parker, why did you ever fucking marry this piece of shit?
Okay, but do you remember the guy who was like kind of their friend and originally was like, Idgie, you and I are gonna get married, and she's like, I'm a lesbian, you ding dong.
That's Grady. So Grady was the town police who was like somewhat warning about it, and Idgie's like, if it's you can go fuck yourself if you're part of this KKK nonsense.
Okay, wait, but I really thought what she was saying was like, I know you do KKK on the weekends and like, knock it off. And I thought he was like, okay, I'll try. And then he was like, that's another KKK attacking you guys. And I was like, all of it's bad. This is like not good.
And they were truly like family, because Idgie and her mom, who by the way is played by Lois Smith, is that how I say her name?
Yep.
Who is fucking great and like vibed with Idgie and was great, and they had this like nice kind of loving family that had just sad tragedies. But when her mom passed away, she kind of is not in the film anymore, so it's very much like Idgie, Ruth, Cicely, Big George, and they're all vibing besties, like this kind of nice community family. And you're kind of like, oh, so Ruth can work, and then Cicely stays home with the baby, and like everybody's kind of like happy and blissful, and it's kind of beautiful. And they were like the culture, the quote unquote heartbeat of the little small Alabama town.
Yeah.
By the train tracks. Like, it was so perfect. They had like this perfect lesbian life. My heart.
Okay, they did have a perfect lesbian life, but like, never,
I know,
like,
but it's
slipped each other the tongue.
I think they definitely did. I think they definitely did. Please, God.
That one scene where they were like having a mini food fight, and I was like, this is It Takes Two, and I'm here for it. But then they were just like,
they were distracted by Grady, because he always was a cock block.
Was definitely a cock block, for sure. Okay, so let's do the baby stealing.
Fucking Frank. We're like, Frank's not coming back. Then Frank rolls up with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Hits Cicely. Okay, nails the woman. The little daughter, who, I don't know the little daughter's name.
I don't either.
But I think, was that maybe Sue? I don't know. But the little daughter runs away and lets Big George and Idgie know, yo, shit's going down. Like,
baby's getting stolen.
I need some
backup
some backup. They come back. Now, there's also this subplot with a guy who doesn't have anywhere to live, and then, like, Idgie is nice, and so is Ruth, about, like, letting them live in the cafe's kind of, like, shack, and he loves them for that, and he tries to help fight Frank for the baby, and Frank beats him up, and then we hear a, like, pan hit. And then for the entire movie, and by the way, if you've never seen this movie, stop now, because this is your spoiler alert. Okay?
I feel like we've already spoiled a lot, but yes.
But then, you never, for like 60 minutes more of the movie, you're like, wait, did Idgie kill him? Who killed him? Which one killed him? I'm glad he's dead, but like, who killed him?
Honestly, in my opinion, I was just like, who cares? Motherfucker's dead.
I know.
Push the car in the river. Good choice. You know, X-Files would approve. And barbecue him.
Yo.
And they do try to be like, I don't know, they try to make it seem like that's not what's happening. And again, my first thought is, I'm like, there's ghosts, there's murder, there's cannibalism. And I'm like, I'm in it.
With different music, this is a horror film.
This is a horror film.
But they don't tell you about the cannibalism and who murdered them. No. And the car in the river until the end.
No.
I was genuinely shocked that they boiled him like barbecue and served it to people.
But they only served it to the racist white guys.
Okay.
So I was a little like,
okay, fair.
Know.
That's very like Hannibal Lecter.
It is. It is.
Okay.
It would. He would approve of that.
So
baby's safe is
baby's safe, and
we're all
basically
safe.
Ruth is like, yo, you did me a solid, Idgie. And Idgie's like, I didn't do shit. Don't look at me. I didn't do shit. But Idgie's like, we gotta come up with a fucking plan, fam.
Yeah.
So everything would have been gravy, but this weird fucking cop from Georgia is the one that ate his fucking body by...
He did.
He didn't realize, but he did.
He did.
He, for 5 years, was like, I will find out who killed Frank Bennett. sir, the case is closed.
Sir, there's no body, sir. Please.
Because that's lingering, and Idgie's like, I don't give a fuck. I got the coolest lesbian life ever. Like, I run this town. My life is awesome. And then, all of a sudden, they find the fucking car.
Yeah, they find it, like, 5 years later.
The river, 5 years later, and that police officer's like, boom, y'all come to court. And Katie, I did not see
Bridge.
what was coming at court. Did you see it? I didn't see it.
I wasn't
was
ready.
Shocked.
I thought the church was going to ruin everything. There's this undercurrent of, like, Ruth was, like, you know, a church-going lady, and she even, growing up, was like, I go to church. And then Itchie's like, oh, boo, church is stupid. And there's kind of a reverend who's like, I'm here, too. And they're like, Reverend, you're crazy. But he's like, I'm gonna come and be a witness. And then Itchie's like, motherfucker, we're screwed, which was my first thought. I was like, everything's gonna be wrong. And he says, he's like, Idgie and Big George were at our church revival that night, so they couldn't have murdered, and you're a dumbass, sir. And I was like, yeah.
I did not see that coming.
I didn't. And apparently it was somewhat... here's the thing, though. It wasn't a lie, because they did start at the revival, but then they did leave early. But he could have just... I don't know. Like, it wasn't a lie.
So,
but apparently he didn't swear on a Bible. He swore on a copy of Moby Dick. And
when he came in, he was like, can I use my own Bible to swear? And then Mary-Louise Parker was like, this took 10 minutes. She was like, actually, that was... Moby Dick. And I was like, oh my god, you're the coolest actor ever.
Oh my god.
And Idgie was like, why did he lie for me? He hates me and I'm the worst. And she was like, well, I guess he thought you'd come to church. Which, Katie, we gotta get this in our back pocket because
we need a reverend friend in case.
No, we have a mother who wants us to go to church so bad. If we ever need her to seriously lie in court for us, I think that might be our line, which is, Mom, bring your own Bible that's actually Moby Dick. We're gonna pull fried green tomatoes. You're gonna lie on the stand for us because I will promise you, Katie will go to church if you do this. Maybe. I think this is a good deal. Okay?
If I go to church, I'll drive by it and look at it for a second. It was amazing. And
it was so amazing.
You just think to yourself, you're like, wow, what a day. We made it out of murder. Life is good. We're all living lesbian life. The clan is leaving us alone. That's cool.
Thank God.
Bridge.
Thank God, because that was horrific to watch.
Bridge, Ruth's child, who, by the way, did you realize she named him Buddy?
She named him Buddy after the brother who died in the
I
first
didn't
5
connect
minutes,
that
Chris O'Donnell.
Till later, and then I cried again. Well, and, you know, I don't know. Is this just foreshadowing that any man named Buddy needs to stay away from the train tracks? Because Buddy is playing on the tracks, and he did not watch the educational videos that Bridget watched, or the church video that I watched. And I literally was like, if this kid gets hit by a fucking train, I'm turning the movie off. Yeah. And I thought I was going to turn the movie off. Yeah. Because the movie does a little switcheroo where you literally think he's dead, but he's not. He just lost an arm. And then they call him Stump. And Idgie goes, it's better if we just call him that before anyone else does. So I was like,
I like that logic. Real talk.
Oh my god.
No, for real. And then they had like a headstone that was like, here lies Stump's arm. Like, I was like, what in the fuck is happening?
Buried his arm. I mean, I don't know. Was the Reverend there? I blacked out. I'm not sure.
I hope it wasn't the Moby Dick version, but whatever.
Yeah, and then you're just like, oh, that's crazy. What a day. And then Ruth gets cancer! And she's dying. And you're like, oh my god.
And they're all still so young. Like, the boy is what, 12?
Not even. I don't even. He's probably like 10. He's little.
And everybody's so sad, and I'm so sad that they're so sad because she can't die.
I was like, this is the moment. This is the moment where Idgie's going to confess her love on this deathbed and say, Ruth, I've always loved you. Let's do a quick makeout.
I thought that
slip
was
away.
I also thought it was the moment she was going to be like, I absolutely killed Earl, a.k.a. Frank Bennett, and it's time for Earl to die, and she was going to start singing with the Dixie Chicks, but she didn't.
I do too.
I was like, really? On her deathbed? You're not going to admit you, like, killed him? That would have been such a badass lover goodbye.
No, and I cried so much. I was like...
I cried so much.
I was like, oh my god, she's dead. And now, who's going to raise Buddy? Is Idgie raising Buddy?
Well,
I guess.
and
Everything's wrong.
Cicely has a line that's like, ma'am, Ruth was a lady, and a lady knows when to leave.
Oh my god. It's so beautiful. Oh my god.
My heartstrings.
My notes.
After that...
No.
And we're kind of ignoring Kathy Bates because, like...
Oh, yeah, we can summarize her
but, like, we
background.
can summarize her, like, she's phenomenal. She's the person that you're like, okay, I'm having enough racist 1920 Alabama nonsense, and I'm not seeing any lesbian action, and then Kathy Bates shows up, and you're like, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I need this woman. I need her ripping her husband to shreds. I need this.
Well, but she doesn't do that right away. When you meet her, she's going to all these, like, women's self-help seminars. First of all, some of them, I didn't hate the idea of it. I was like, oh, you're going to look at your vagina in a mirror?
That was very Sex and the City.
I literally was like, that is from Sex and the City.
The first one, by the way, the woman that's like, the magic spark, that is Fannie Flagg, who wrote the original novel.
Oh.
For Fried Green Tomatoes.
Did you recognize Patty Mayonnaise was also her friend?
Yes.
And I was like, Patty, thank God you're here. This was probably the same year that Doug came out on Nickelodeon. What a day.
Oh my God.
And then the one where she was like, we're going to go and like learn how to masturbate. And I was like, you should definitely go to that one, Kathy. And Kathy's like, no way. I was like, boo, lame. Yeah, so she's just like, wham, I'm like sad. My husband doesn't notice me and it doesn't matter what I do. And then Ninny's like, well, listen to all my crazy stories. And then that inspires Kathy, and that's why she starts running around yelling to Wanda. And I don't know why. I don't know what it means. Does anyone know what that means? Let me know.
Keep talking.
To Wanda.
Kathy Bates.
She starts like, I don't know, like she's going to the gym. She's doing work on the home. She's knocking down walls. She's being assertive to strangers. She's running into them with her cars. And then she has a great line where she was like, you may be younger than me, ladies, but I'm older and I have more insurance. And I was like, that's fucking amazing.
It was amazing. Okay, Tawanda is an alter ego, okay? Like, to Wanda.
Oh.
Where she embodies the person that basically says that line, which is an epic line.
Tawanda.
And I guess it's like Beyonce and Sasha Fierce. That's like her Sasha Fierce. Tawanda.
Okay.
So we can shout that.
I will.
I think we should and write
do that.
times and moments. Yeah.
I will do that. But there's this whole undercurrent with Kathy Bates' storyline where she's basically like, I'm sad that I'm getting older and I feel like I haven't like done stuff and like time's slipping away. And Ninny's like, I'm fucking older than you.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear it.
She's like,
so,
bitch, I'm in a nursing home.
Yeah.
Check
like,
yourself.
hello? Like, look at your audience, ma'am. And then, yeah, it just inspires Kathy. And like, their friendship is really sweet because Kathy's like, girl, it's Christmas. I got you a gift. And Ninny's like, thank God. Oh my God. It's like really fucking sweet. And then there's a fucking part towards the end. This was another moment. I was like, if I'm going to cry again, I just stopped crying. And now you're going to make me do it again. I swear to God. Where you are led to believe that Ninny is a dead person. Because it's like some lady's cleaning out a room and she's like, this lady died. And you're like, there's no other way to interpret this lady died. So Kathy Bates is really sad. But then apparently the lady didn't die and she just took a cab and left the nursing home. Something.
This is really fucked up. But her home, while she was in the nursing home, just got beat to shit and was condemned.
Yeah.
And so the family just bulldozed it and didn't tell her because they're like, what's the point on that old lady? So then she just pieces out. She's a very capable, like 80 whatever woman.
Yeah.
And she's like, where the fuck is my home? And I'm like, your family lied to you. Like, what the fuck? I was just kind of like, that was messed up. No?
Yep. Yeah, it was really
I'm not doing that to you. I'm telling you that right now. I will let you know.
Let me
your
know
house is
they're
condemned.
Gonna bulldoze.
Katie, it's going down. But I'll let you know.
Yes, please do tell me if that happens in my home.
I will.
It just was another moment where you're like, oh, this is like aging there is, like, sad stuff about aging, but then it's also, like, you can reflect back on your life and find beauty, and that's nice. And you can still form wonderful friendships. And, oh my God, Kathy Bates' character is like, I'm going to adopt you, Ninny. You're going to live with me now. This is like the Goonies when Chunk's like, Sloth, you're living with us. I didn't ask my parents, but get in there, crazy. And I was like, are you allowed to just do that with people from the nursing home? But I guess she left the nursing home, so...
I mean, there's no one, like, I don't know. I guess that those women's, like, because she said her son died when he was 30, hence why, like, she has no family or kin to, like, help her, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad.
It was sad. And then one of my last lines was cannibalism confirmed.
Yo. Okay, so then you find out it's Cicely that rolls back up, smashed Earl, a.k.a. Frank, with the cast iron pan, and she was cooking a lot.
In the library.
With the cast iron pan.
Wrench, the cast iron pan and the night. Yep.
And when they were like, what the fuck do we... Somebody was like, put the car in the river, and then they were like, what the fuck do we do with the body? It's almost morning. And literally, Idgie's like, it's time to cook barbecue. And Big George was like, I'm not as crazy as you, fucking Idgie. Are you crazy, white woman? And she was like, I am. I need you to... So, by the way, how didn't anyone in the town, like, throw up or anything? It's just like, what?
I guess.
Is that a thing? Can you eat people and, like, not die?
I mean, maybe
I don't know these things.
If you cook it, maybe? I don't want to Google because I don't want the FBI coming here.
Ugh.
I don't know, but I really thought based on the ending that Ninny equals Idgie, because then they're like, oh, look, there's Ruth's grave. And then Kathy Bates is like, oh my God, Ruth. And she goes, look, there's some honey. Does that mean Idgie's still alive? And Ninny gave her this knowing look where she was like, she's still out there. And I was like, is it you? And then she's like, maybe we'll see her. And I was like, are you going to see her in the mirror?
Were they trying
later?
to do that?
I don't know. That's why I was like, what do you mean? Who wrote this note? It looks fresh. The honey's fresh. Ninny, did you shove your hand in the tray? Let me know. We don't know. I don't know. But all I know is I cried. I was very engaged, and I didn't think I would be with this type of movie. I thought I was going to be playing lots of Candy Crush, and I wasn't. And it's on my list of movies to make me cry now. So,
aww.
Yep.
All right, watch it or don't watch it.
I think you should watch it.
I think everybody should watch it too.
I think you should watch it.
Kathy Bates is a gem.
Yeah. Tawanda! Oh my God, I can't believe that's like her alter ego.
That's so awesome.
Okay.
What's your pick?
Okay, so... Okay. Part of me wants to, like, kind of give you choices, but I also don't.
Oh. I mean,
I don't know.
No offense, Katie. I don't really pick the things you like.
I know. That's why I think I want to just do what I'm going to do.
Okay, do what you
Bridge.
want to do.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Been a while. Oh, I'm not typing. It's been a while since we watched a movie in this genre.
Okay.
It's your least favorite genre.
Oh, God. All right. Let's give it to me.
I'm so sorry. But this is a classic, so I just feel like we gotta do it. We gotta check it off.
All right. Fine. I'm ready.
I think you've probably seen it. Okay. Jesus. It's from the 80s. There are
classic
teenagers who
Okay.
die. Let's see. Can I read you this one sentence?
Yeah.
Written and directed by a guy that we have done at least one other movie with, which is a great movie. Teenager Nancy Thompson must uncover the dark truth concealed by her parents after she and her friends become targets of the spirit of a serial killer with a bladed glove in their dreams. Wait, there's more, because I have to click something to read.
No.
In which, if they die, it kills them in real life. Man, that's a stupid sentence. What's the movie, Bridge?
Is it Freddy Krueger?
It is. Wait, what's it called? Do you know the name of the movie? Or Nightmare on Elm Street? Is this scary? Is this bad? Because my other idea...
This is so scary.
It's so scary. Are you going to be okay? Because I could pick another one.
I mean, I have to be brave.
You could do it.
Okay, we're committed to this podcast, and it's 87 years later. I can't, but holy
Bridget's
cow.
gonna be Ninny and be like, I remember when my sister made me watch all those horror movies.
And then, after I did that 1920s Alabama life, let me tell you about Freddy Krueger. They're gonna be like, is that the plot to Freddy Krueger?
That's the plot to Freddy Krueger, yep. Listen, this was written and directed by Wes Craven years before Scream, and we love to see him. This one is a little scary, and I believe this is, oh god, I don't even know how many sequels there were to this one, but this was one of those horror franchises that there's like a billion sequels, and they get like kind of silly. So I think this movie is like the last time it was like scary, and then if you ever watch any other Nightmare on Elm Streets, they get like stupid. You're like, what?
Okay.
Listen, we survived Jason, we survived Michael Myers, we probably survived we survived Candyman. We're gonna survive this. And if we don't, I'll say sorry to you.
Okay.
Somehow. In our dreams.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Well.
Oh my god, I'm scared.
Oh my god. Watch it with the lights on. Crunchy carrots.
Oh my god. Love it.
Don't watch it on your phone where the screen is this big.
Oh my god.
You've done that before with horror movies.
I'm so scared.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're gonna do it. We gotta grow up.
Okay, we can do it. Okay. Well, Bridge, just want to say, if you needed someone to be murdered, I wouldn't question it at all. I'd be like, absolutely. Let me get a frying pan. And let's get some BBQ up in here. We're gonna start a cafe. There's a lot of steps in our murder plot, personally, but
wow. Should we call it Earl's Cafe? Just to be honest.
Do like Earl Had to Die Cafe.
Wow.
The special is Earl.
Wow.
And I do that for you because I love you. I wouldn't eat the meat, but you know.
Incredible.
Might as well make money. Yep.
Oh my god. And Katie?
Bridge.
If you ended up in a nursing home and you were like, I somehow have to come up with stories, and you start saying the plot to fried green tomatoes.
I've definitely
And I come visit you. And I'm like, you know what? I know that's the plot of fried green tomatoes, but I'm going to double down and be like, this is true. And
like,
she's
it's
right.
all true.
And whatever name you come up with that's not Idgie, I'll be like, that's also correct.
The thing is, if this ever happened in real life, we all know I would instead be reciting the entire plot of Degrassi seasons 1 through 10 in order, and no one would know, but I'll tell it.
Oh my god. Amazing.
My brain's still working by then.
Let's fucking go!
Well, and listeners, if you also would retell a movie plot to unsuspecting younger people at the nursing home that you live in, just for kicks, you know? Sometimes you gotta find joy in life in silly ways. And if you think that Earl had to die, goodbye. Y'all listen to that song, okay? His name was Frank, but he's basically Earl, so go team. And if you think that Idgie and Ruth were totes in love, we never saw if they had separate bedrooms. Okay. I don't know. If there's ever a remake, it needs some updates, I think, because I don't understand why we couldn't have one peck. Even when she's dying on the bed.
Well,
I guess there's got to be a peck.
I think the book goes into it, but like the movie is like, we're too 1991. We hate women, so no.
So if you think all that, you should write us a review.
Hey!
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. And we also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So there is a form you can fill out. Your request goes on a list. And we look at the list every now and then. And we'll do it eventually. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They can buy us coffee, which is money. Which is merchandise.
Yes.
Which will be anything you want. You want to buy vests? You want to look like Idgie? You want to be cool as fuck in 1990 Alabama?
Oh, tempting.
You could wear a Sisters Who Seen It shirt underneath a vest you buy somewhere else, but we're there in spirit, you know, so check it out.
Imagine if we made a shirt where it was like on the boobs were like 2 fried green tomatoes. And like that was it. And we just don't, like there's just nothing else. It's just like, this is a Sisters Who Seen It shirt. Don't ask questions.
Hard. I love that so hard.
Well, be on the lookout, listeners. Maybe that'll be on the shop.
I love that so fucking hard.
Okay, yeah, so check all that out, listeners. And we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see you all next week for A Nightmare on Elm Street. And we're all going to make it. And it's going to be good. We're going to watch Johnny Depp get murdered. Spoiler alert. It's going to be good. We're going to do it.
Love it.
Love it. Okay, well,
I'm scared.
You.
I mean, I don't love it. I'm scared, but I'm just going to pretend, okay?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay.
All right. Goodbye, y'all.
Goodbye.
I love y'all.
I love you. Watch out for those trains.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. Bye. Ouch. Bye.
Oh,
Get
bye.
your fried green tomato titties. Bye.
Oh, bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswho'veseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.